The tall gentleman on the end, could you move slightly? Thank you, and the little girl. Could you move between the bride and That's very nice. Now, let's see what we've... Oh, dear. Vicar, from here, it looks like there's a tree growing out of your head. Could you move to your right, please? Thank you.
I am what you might call a practicing atheist. I'm quite happy to be an atheist because I think actually God likes atheists better. We never ask him for anything. We're not bothering him all the time saying, oh, God, please help me, I want this thing. And as a practicing atheist, there's certain things that I travel around the world, and no matter where I go, somebody called Gideon leaves me this book to read. It's an Irish book because it says it all began at the beginning. There are certain things that, when I read the Bible, and I do read the Bible, that I find difficult to understand. I mean, if God has been there forever, what was he doing before he got to us? I mean, what was he out there doing? Was he sitting there going, bored today, what'll I do? I mean, suddenly from nowhere, he suddenly decided to create a world. I'll make a world, that's what. Make a world, yes, that's what I'll do. Rivers, seas, boom, mountains. Boom, everything is there. I want a garden. I'd like a nice garden. Whack, garden meat. Hate gardening. Need a garden. Ah, gardener, spit and dust. Adam. Hey! And he, Adam, never once says, where in the name of God did I come from? I mean, he's 40 years of age. He has no child, he has no recall. He doesn't say, how did I get here? But he's quite happy. He just kind of trundles around the garden, working away. And God is looking at him. And he sees that Adam is happy. I didn't put him there to be happy. I'll put a stop to that. And God, during the night, sneaks down like a thief and steals, doesn't ask, doesn't request, steals it. His rib. And from his rib, he makes woman. And Adam wakes up in the morning, he's a real thickie. He's lying there, and there's somebody else, he doesn't say, where did you come from? How the hell did you get here? Where did you get those lumps? Just goes out and goes gardening. And God comes down and has a conversation with Eve and tells her that she can eat of any fruit in the tree in the whole garden with the exception of one fruit tree. He's talking to a woman. He actually tells her not to eat of the fruit. And then when she said, which tree can't I eat? He said, that one over there. He points it out to her. And when he goes and hides, and she sneaks up to the tree, and a snake comes down and has a conversation. A snake. Now, if I see a snake, I'll back off. One starts talking, I'll crap myself. And the snake actually convinces her to eat the apple. And she eats the apple. And when she eats the apple, she learns shame. That's what happens when you eat apples. Now, she's not ashamed that she's disobeyed God or that she's eaten the apple. She's ashamed of one part of her body. That's all. She becomes ashamed of that area of the body. Now, why that area? Why not her elbow? Her nose. Do you actually realize that if Eve had been ashamed of her nose, every woman in the world now would be ashamed of your noses? You'd all be sitting here tonight with little nose knickers on. Men would be in nightclubs watching totally naked ladies with G-strings on their nose. Take them off. Oh, I saw a nose. Oh. And this is the book. This is the book that you'll go into court and place your hand upon. And swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. My lord, may I speak to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury before they leave to reach the verdict, and before you, my lord, pass sentence upon that verdict. Thank you. You have heard that for many years I lived a happy and simple bachelor existence. And like most bachelors, I was rather set in my ways. I was an active member of the local church society. I also belonged to a small musical appreciation group made up of some very close friends. It was during one of these musical evenings that I first met the woman who was later to become my wife. She was actually everything that a man could have wished for. She was attractive and witty and intelligent. But above all, she shared, or at least she gave the appearance of sharing, my interests. It was only in the following months that I began to see her as she really was. She created such embarrassing scenes that gradually, one by one, my friends began to stay away. I had to suffer her sulks, her fits of frenzied rage, her long, accusing silences, until eventually she just followed me about the house, nagging incessantly. There was no escape from her shrewish voice. And then on the night referred to by the prosecution, she followed me down into the last sanctuary that I had, the cellar. My mind snapped. I could take no more. I picked up a hammer, and as she turned to face me, mocking laughter fell from her twisted mouth. There was no fear in her eyes. She dared me to hit her. She actually dared me. And God forgive me, I did. I struck again and again and again.
Henry!
Yes, dear?
What are you doing down there in the cellar?
Just practicing. Just It's been 3.5 years since I worked in television. Things have changed. I've changed slightly. But one of the main changes, you probably noticed, there's no ashtray. I have given it up. A heavy smoker. I used to even smoke in between smokes. Have given it up. Totally changed. And the most extraordinary thing about giving up smoking, to non-smokers, I'm a convert. I've come over. I've joined them. They're proud of me. They say, good for you. You've given up the filthy habit. Good, 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 good. The heavy smokers who used to be my allies, I'm a traitor. Bloody Judas! You of all people! But one of the good things, or one of the new things about giving up smoking, is that I now have my sense of smell back. I can actually get up in the morning and open a window, throw it up, and breathe it, and smell again. Petrol. Carbon monoxide. Dog shit. I mean, listen, taste. I actually thought when I used to eat food, it was the smoking. I had no taste. It's not the smoking, it's the food. It's bloody tasteless. Somebody said to me the other day, shall we eat or have a McDonald's? And now the whole thing about being a smoker, actually being a smoker is very difficult in today's society because the pressures are on smokers. Society frowns upon smokers. There are signs everywhere. See them here. No smoking. Smoking is not allowed. Smoking is forbidden. The Americans, they're totally lunatic about it. When I was in America, I was smoking. Had a woman stop me in the street and she said, "You're smoking." Like I'd exposed myself. I said, "Yes, madam." She said, "You had a cigarette in your mouth." I said, "I know, I've been smoking for years. That's the only way I know how." You notice in